Hey guys, Jacob here. This is another 1.8.3 build video for the Division. This build was requested a long time ago, but someone brought it up and said I should make a Mark II version of it, so here it is. This is the Nomads Shadow project that was made back in 1.8 when it first started. This build wasn't that crazy, and it also had a few differences on it, I guess you could say. Like, for example, it originally was a 3-piece Nomad with 2-piece Banshee. Or 4-piece Nomad with 2-piece Banshee, my bad. So you had Banshee in your vest, hat on your holster, and instead of Savage Gloves, you would be using the Nomad Gloves. First, I'll get into the weapons I'm using on this build. 21.2 base damage was the house, deadly, responsive, and card counter. If you can get an unforgiving responsive house, that will work too, since if you have someone in your group using a pulse, and since you're also going to be using a pulse on this build, you're pretty much going to get your crit damage back from using the pulse. The mods in this weapon are a Pro at sight with crit damage, headshot damage, and crit chance, an extended mag with crit chance, magazine size, and rate of fire, small grip with crit damage, stability, and optimal range, a loud vent break with crit damage, crit chance, and headshot damage. If you want more crit chance on your weapon, I recommend just using something like the Rugged Mini Reflex Sight or something like the Tyrant Suppressor, which are pretty easy to find if you can get them at the vendors, or you can just craft one of the Ruggeds or the Suppressor. Now the secondary I'm using is a responsive, unforgiving, and deadly house with 18.6 base damage. The mods on this are a little bit different. Improved iron sights with stability, crit damage, and crit chance. This is mostly just to have a little bit more stability on my gun and be able to beam people from a distance. I don't really use ARs in this build that much, but if you want more crit damage, I recommend using the C79 or using the Pro Dot Sight. Extended mag with crit damage, magazine size, and rate of fire, a small grip with crit damage, accuracy, and stability, and a large FDE suppressor with crit damage, crit chance, and stability. You could use the loud vent break if you really want, but I'm not using the loud vent break at the moment. I'm using this for the stability, or you could use something like the compensator for stability. I just picked this up, so I actually might flip the FDE suppressor around and then flip this back to the normal scope I originally had on it. Now, the sawed-off shotgun I'm using has self-preserved, predatory, and determined, so when you smack someone or kill an NPC, you get your skills back insanely fast, and when you kill someone with predatory, you get 35% health over 20 seconds. Now, the pieces I'm using 2-piece Nomad with 2-piece Banshee and Savage Gloves. On the vest, it's rolled for health on kill, health, firearms, and ammo capacity, and 2 crit chance mods, which one is firearms and one is stamina. Now the mask is rolled for health on kill, firearms, damage to elites, and his stamina crit chance mod. Knee pads are rolled for crit damage, stamina, blind, bleed, increased kill XP. If you can get bleed, shock, and burn, that's what you want. The stamina crit chance mod is on this, and a pulse crit damage mod. Now the ninja bag is rolled for stamina, crit damage, ammo capacity, firearms crit chance mod with 2 pulse crit damage mods. Savage Gloves, crit hit chance is increased by 7% against targets out of cover. Roll for SMG damage, crit chance, and crit damage. So when targets are out of cover, your crit chance is basically increased by 7%. So this makes it for some of the crit chance you will be lacking with not having like the rolls on your mask, for example. Now the holster is rolled for crit chance and all stats, and a pulse crit damage mod. Now I'll get over why I'm using these pieces. I'm using the Banshee piece for the 10% damage to targets out of cover as a set bonus 3. I think this is one of the best set bonuses in the game since it's only a 3-piece bonus, and you combine this with a few builds and get some pretty decent damage out of it. Now Nomad, it used to be a 4-piece on this build, but now it is a set bonus 2 and a set bonus 3. I think the set bonus 2 and 3 are pretty good on this build because you're getting your 15% health on kill. So you get the 15 from this. So that's standard on the set bonus 2, and you're also going to get Nomad Resolve. This is not as powerful as I would say, you know, the classified set. You're not going to get the full overheal, and you're not going to get the proc. But when you're in combat, you're constantly going to get a small amount of healing. It's going to come back to you. So if you're fighting, you're always getting healed, and if someone in your group is a healer, this works really well too. And that's why I'm using that. The Savage Gloves, like I said, is for the crit chance for 7% against targets out of cover. And a few other things, if you want to use this in a team, I'd recommend flipping this glove with a Banshee piece and flipping this for a Vigorous chest piece like this one right here. So that way your overheals will be on you, and you'll basically have an overheal plus the healing. So you essentially, still get an overheal from your Vigorous chest piece. Now I'll go over to the character sheet on the house. 47% crit chance and 130 damage. And you also have to count the 7% you're going to get from Savage Gloves. So you have to add that into your crit chance since it will not pop up on your bar. I know that's a little bit weird because some people think it will pop up on your character sheet, but it actually doesn't. So you're essentially getting around like 54% crit chance total on your SMG. Headshot damage 62%, stability 2%. I'll go over the damage to elites, which is 12%. That's from the minor, and health on kill, which is actually a pretty big deal on this build, if I did not say that. When you smack someone with your sawed-off shotgun, or just smack them in general, you're going to proc predatory, and you're also going to get 25% health on kill since you have it on your vest mask, and you get the 2-piece bonus from Nomad. You could get this up higher if you want to run more Nomad, I guess. You could have a shit ton more health on kill, or you could run something like a sustained predatory house and even have the 6% from that, so when you smack people you get your health on kill from that as well. The max health on this is 306,000, and the toughness is 459,000, and the armor is 7,952. Health regeneration 15,321. And now I'll get into the AR character sheet real quick and show you guys what the stats are on this. If it'll let me. There we go. 20% crit chance and 118 damage. I know you can get your crit chance up a little higher if you have a different scope, but this works for me, so that's what it is. Now the abilities I'm using is the 15% crit damage mod, Pulse, which is the Conceal / Scrambler. If you want to use the Tactical Scanner for a little bit more crit damage and make your damage increase when attacking any hostile targets identified by the Pulse, you can use this as well. But this one, personally, I think is a little bit better since it protects the user and allies from hostile Pulse scans. You could use crit chance mods and flip it around, but since you're using an SMG with almost, max crit chance, you can basically have the 15% crit damage and have another deadly basically on your gun and make up for crit damage mods if you're also losing those as well. So if you flip one of the mods around and use a rugged mini or a suppressor on your SMG, you can still get crit damage from your pulse. Now the booster shot is for increased damage when you're in combat, and it's not that great of a heal, but if you need to increase your damage, you can hit this and shred through people a little bit easier. Now the next thing on the list is the immune station. If people are using pred, I would get rid of the pulse or get rid of the booster and just flip on the immune station, or someone else in your group most likely will have this. So if they have a pulse, get rid of your pulse, put an immune station on, but if they have an immune station, keep your pulse on. Now the talents I'm using on this are Adrenaline, Battle Buddy, Strike Back, and Combat Medic. Combat Medic is really good when your teammates are almost dead and you can heal them by just hitting a normal med kit. Strike Back, when you're almost dead, all your skill cooldowns increase by 20%, so you can get your skills insanely fast if you're almost dead. Battle Buddy, so if you hit your green or hit someone with a defib, it'll reduce incoming damage by 30% for 10 seconds. Adrenaline, medkits now give 7 seconds immunity from status effects, so that's if someone's using Pred Bleed, or if they're using something like a flame turret, you can hit this and it will give you 7 seconds immunity. That's going to be about it, guys, for the video. Thank you guys all for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. This build is mostly based on Skirmish and DZ. I think it works best in Skirmish in a team, but if you have a pretty decent healer and have your stuff going really well in the DZ, you can use this build. But for me personally, I've been using this a lot in Skirmish, and it works really well. If you want to try something new, you can use this. It's nothing too crazy, but thank you guys all for watching. As always, I will catch you guys in the next one.